Most people think that memorizing means that you're smart, and that's exactly why they stay average. You can quote every single self help book people recommend, but if you can't actually use what you learned in real life, at work, or in your relationships, then what's the point? A lot of people believe that having good grades or a degree automatically means that you're intelligent. And yeah, of course, they worked hard. But once you get into the real world, you realize that that actually doesn't really hold up. If you're not applying what you know, then all you know is surface level knowledge that sounds great, but doesn't do anything because you haven't applied it to real life. I had to learn this the hard way. And being smart isn't about how much you know, it's about what you do with what you know. And that's the biggest difference. So, in this video, I'm going to share 3 simple things that helped me get smarter and not just school smart, but with real life knowledge in a way that allows me to use the knowledge that I learned to real life and to grow. Stay curious and ask questions. A big reason people stop growing is because they stop being curious. For example, think about it when we spend all those years in school. And once it's done, most people think learning is over. But that mindset is a trap. You assume you know everything just because you went through years of school. Because of this, now you're afraid to ask questions because you don't want to look dumb. But here's the thing. Some of the smartest people who I've met are the ones who are constantly asking questions. They're not trying to impress anyone because ideally they're curious about learning and don't care about how they look. They're trying to understand how things actually work. And curiosity gives you permission to see that there's so much more out there to learn. Honestly, staying curious is one of the fastest ways to keep leveling up in your learning. And that starts by asking simple questions that go deeper into understanding how things work. Since we have ChatGPT nowadays, I like to ask it questions on topics that I'm curious about. And I do that for about 5 minutes. After, I figure out how I can apply this to my life because you don't want to just memorize information. You want it to be useful to your life. Be the least experienced person in the room. This one might feel uncomfortable, but hear me out. Most people want to be the smartest in the room, and it feels good. You get respect, people listen to you, you feel important. But when you're always the one who knows the most, you're actually not growing. You're just repeating yourself. If you really want to grow, you gotta start getting in rooms where you don't know the most. Be around people who've done more than you, who think differently, and challenge the way you view things. It'll feel awkward at first. You might feel like an imposter, but that's where all the growth is, which is through discomfort. You pick up things just by watching and listening. You learn through how they ask questions, how they make decisions, and how they respond to pressure. You're literally learning just by being in the right environment, which is by showing up in places where people are doing what you want to learn. You're not less valuable because you know less. Your value comes from being someone who's willing to learn and grow. And eventually, being the least experienced person in the room is what's going to make you the most powerful because you'll outgrow the people who stopped learning a long time ago. Apply what you learn instead of just collecting it. When you learn new things, it feels good. You listen to podcasts, you read books, you take notes, and you feel very productive from it. But collecting information doesn't change your life. Applying it does. Think about all the times you've learned something new and thought about how great it was, but then you didn't do anything with it. That's the gap right there. That's where most people stay stuck. They know what to do, but they don't follow through. You already know what to do, but all you need to do is take action in order for that knowledge to be valuable. So each week, pick one topic you learned and find a way to use it. Doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you do something with it. Because the second you start applying what you learn, that knowledge will stick to you because you've gone through that experience to remember it better. So stop chasing more information just to feel productive. Use what you already have because that's what real intelligence looks like. I wasn't someone who had the best grades, but once I stopped tying my intelligence to the traditional path, I started building a system that actually worked for me, and it helped me grow in ways that school never could. So if you want to be more intelligent than most people, just know that it's not how much you know or how many books you've read or what degree you have. It's about what you do with all of that. Ask questions, even the ones that feel obvious or awkward. Put yourself in rooms where you're not the expert. And stop just collecting knowledge. Start applying it. That's what separates you from someone who just learns through theory versus someone who actually applies it to their life. And if you made it to the end of this video, drop a comment below and let me know what helps you become more intelligent, because I want to learn from you too, and your comment can help someone else. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.